Have you ever felt the weight of your own words tearing through the air, leaving echoes you can't take back? There's a power in silence, a strength most men never understand. Every word you speak is energy leaving your body. Every argument, every complaint, every needless explanation chips away at your strength. Real power is reserved for those who know when to strike and when to hold their tongue. Silence is not weakness, it is armor. It is the weapon of kings, the shield of the unstoppable. The world is filled with people desperate to be heard, desperate to prove themselves, but they are weak, scattered, and lost. When you choose silence, you keep your energy, you build your presence, you sharpen your mind, and you let your actions speak louder than any word ever could. The quiet ones, the patient, the calculated, they are the ones who win, the ones who dominate without raising a voice. Stop chasing validation. Stop proving yourself to the world and watch as life bends to those who know the true value of restraint. Stay silent, stay powerful, stay unshakable. Because the loudest victory is won without a single sound. Have you ever noticed how the world rewards the loudest voices while underestimating the quiet ones? There's a reason for that, and it's a mistake most people never realize. Silence is strength, not weakness. In a society addicted to noise, constant chatter, and attention-seeking, holding your tongue is one of the most powerful things you can do. Every word you speak is energy leaving your body. Every unnecessary explanation or argument is a piece of your power slipping through your fingers. You might think speaking up proves intelligence, proves courage, or proves dominance, but in reality, it often does the exact opposite. People who know when to remain silent are the ones who hold real power. They are the ones the world cannot ignore, not because they shout the loudest, but because every time they speak, their words hit like a hammer, precise and unstoppable. Silence allows you to observe, to understand, to see the patterns others miss. When you speak constantly, you reveal too much of yourself, your intentions, your weaknesses. When you remain quiet, the world is left guessing. The moment people underestimate you is the moment you gain the upper hand. Every argument you avoid, every fight you refuse to engage in, every insult you swallow, it is not submission. It is strategy. It is the mindset of those who play the long game, who know that respect is earned in the shadows, away from the noise, away from the distractions. Weak people feel the need to explain themselves. Strong people let their actions do all the talking. Strong people understand that silence carries weight, that silence builds presence, that silence makes every word you choose to speak matter 10 times more than anything a desperate, loud person could ever say. Do you want to be one of those? People who fade into the background chasing validation with every breath? Or do you want to be the one who commands a room without even raising your voice? Silence is the difference between reacting to life and controlling it. Every time you resist the urge to argue over petty matters, every time you refuse to justify yourself to someone who will never understand, you are building power. You are telling the universe that you are above trivial battles, that your focus is on bigger, more important victories. The world will try to provoke you, will try to push your buttons, will try to make you respond. This is where most people fail. They react emotionally. They speak without thinking. They waste energy on people and situations that do not matter. The quiet person watches, learns, and strikes at the right moment. That is strength. That is dominance. That is mastery. Silence also builds self-respect. When you stop seeking approval from others, when you stop needing to be heard constantly, you stop giving them power over you. Every word spoken in desperation diminishes your presence, but every word spoken with intention amplifies it. Think about the strongest people in history, the people who moved mountains without a single shout, the ones who achieved dominance through calculated restraint. They understood this principle. They knew that noise is cheap, but silence is priceless. It is a form of power that cannot be stolen, a weapon that cannot be taken from you, and it begins with simple self-discipline, learning to stay silent even when every instinct tells you to speak, to respond, to prove, to explain. The moment you master this, everything changes. People begin to respect you, fear you, and most importantly, listen to you. Because when you finally do speak, your words are rare. They are intentional. They are lethal. There is another dimension to silence that many fail to see. It allows you to focus on what truly matters. Life is full of distractions, people, opinions, criticism, and meaningless noise. When you speak less, you focus more. You focus on your goals, your growth, your strategy. Every wasted word is a wasted moment. Every moment wasted is an opportunity lost. Silence gives you time to plan, to think, to prepare. It gives you the mental space to act decisively and ruthlessly when the time comes. Those who never learn the value of silence are always running, always reacting, always fighting battles they were never meant to fight. Those who master it are calm, composed, unstoppable. They are like the eye of the storm, still centered and untouchable, while chaos rages around them. And let's be clear, silence does not mean cowardice. It does not mean passivity. On the contrary, it is the ultimate display of courage. It is the courage to not react to provocation, the courage to stay in control of your mind when everyone else loses theirs, the courage to preserve your energy for battles that truly matter. The world is full of people addicted to speaking, to arguing, to proving themselves. Don't be one of them. Choose silence, harness it, protect it. Let it transform you into someone who cannot be shaken, someone whose presence alone commands respect, someone whose actions speak louder than 1,000 voices. Silence is strength, not weakness. It is the foundation of self-discipline, the secret weapon of the powerful, the invisible force that allows the quiet to conquer the loud. Stop wasting words. Stop chasing attention. Stop explaining yourself. Watch, listen, learn. And when the time is right, act and watch the world bend to your will. Those who understand this secret become unstoppable. Those who do not remain trapped in the chaos of their own voices. Choose silence, choose power, choose greatness. Words are energy. Conserve them wisely. Think about it. Every time you speak, you're giving a piece of yourself away. Words are not just sounds. They are power. They are influence. They are currency in a world full of people who spend theirs recklessly. Most people speak without thinking. They complain without reason. They argue without purpose. And in doing so, they drain themselves. Every word leaves an imprint, a footprint, and a cost you may never realize until it's too late. Energy is finite. Your focus, your willpower, your strength, all of it diminishes when words are wasted on people who do not deserve them, on situations that are meaningless, on battles that have no value. To speak without control is to scatter your power into the void, to dilute your presence until no one listens, including yourself. Real mastery begins when you recognize the value of your words and learn to use them with precision. Conserving your words is not about silence for the sake of silence. It is about purpose. It is about strategy. Every time you speak with intention, every time you choose your words carefully, you create impact. You command respect. You make people pause. You make them listen. In a world where everyone is shouting, the man who speaks less becomes the man who is remembered. Imagine a room full of people arguing over trivial matters, and in the middle stands someone who says nothing until the perfect moment. When he finally speaks, his words hit harder than 1,000 voices combined. That is the power of conserving energy through your speech. That is the power of using words as a weapon, not a waste. Energy is not only physical, it is mental, emotional, spiritual. Words deplete all three. Think of arguments that linger, complaints that fester, conversations that drain you. Every unnecessary word steals focus from your mission, from your goals, from your vision. People rarely understand this. They speak to be heard, to be validated, to be liked. But validation is cheap, and constant noise is weakness. The man who understands the energy of words knows that the strongest communication is measured, deliberate, and rare. He knows that silence is not emptiness. It is a container of power, a vault where energy accumulates until it is released with devastating effect. Words have weight. Words have consequence. Speak too freely, and you are weakened. Speak with intent, and you are unstoppable. The value of your words also lies in timing. Most people squander their energy reacting impulsively, responding to insults, proving themselves in conversations that will be forgotten tomorrow. Conserving your words means refusing to give your energy to those who cannot appreciate it. It means holding back until your message carries weight. It means understanding that every word spoken has a ripple effect and that a word released without thought can create chaos you cannot undo. Energy spent is energy lost. Energy preserved is power gained. This is not theory, it is reality. Powerful people, those who leave their mark on the world, understand this instinctively. They do not shout. They do not over-explain. They do not waste. Their words are deliberate. Their actions back them. Their presence alone commands attention. Another reason to conserve words is the effect on your inner state. When you speak constantly, when you complain, when you argue, you feed emotions that cloud judgment, scatter focus, and drain your mental reserves. Words can inflame anger, magnify fear, and heighten stress. Silence, on the other hand, is restorative. It allows thought to clarify, emotions to settle, strategy to form. When you conserve your words, you conserve your energy to invest in what truly matters, your vision, your discipline, your strength. You become a force that cannot be easily swayed, manipulated, or exhausted. Those who waste words are always reacting. Those who conserve them are always controlling. Conserving words also builds respect and authority. People unconsciously notice who speaks too much and who speaks sparingly. The ones who speak less, whose words are weighted and deliberate, are the ones who are listened to, followed, and remembered. Scarcity makes your energy valuable. If everyone else is giving away their power, you become rare. You become magnetic. Your words gain meaning because people know they are earned, not wasted. Think about leaders, innovators, and masters in every field. They speak only when necessary, and their words carry the force of intent. Their silence is a tool, their words are ammunition, and the world bends to those who understand this simple principle. Words are energy. Conserve them wisely. Finally, conserving words trains self-discipline. To master your speech is to master your mind. It is to recognize that every syllable has cost, that every conversation has consequence, and that every unnecessary word diminishes your potential. Discipline in speech reflects discipline in thought, discipline in action, and discipline in life. Conserving your words makes you deliberate, calculated, and unshakable. It makes you the person others underestimate, only to regret it later when you unleash the power you have carefully preserved. It is a form of invisible strength, one that shapes destiny quietly but decisively. Words are energy. Conserve them wisely, guard them, choose them, release them only when they carry impact, intention, and purpose. Do not waste your power on noise, on trivialities, on those who do not deserve it. Every word you speak should advance your mission, strengthen your presence, and magnify your influence. The quiet ones, the deliberate ones, the masters of speech, they are unstoppable. Those who speak recklessly are consumed by their own energy. Harness the power of words. Conserve your energy and watch as the world bends to those who understand that silence is not empty and words are not cheap. Speak less, act more, and let your energy preserved and focused become the force that shapes your destiny. Actions speak louder than words. Think about it. Anyone can talk, anyone can promise, anyone can convince you with empty rhetoric, but words without follow-through are nothing more than air. They're shadows with no substance, echoes that fade and disappear. The world does not reward those who talk about greatness. It rewards those who create it. The person who dreams loudly but acts timidly achieves nothing. The one who boasts of strength but never moves forward remains weak. Actions are the only proof of intent, the only measure of power, and the only guarantee that a vision is real. You can say anything you want, you can make every claim imaginable, but until you act, it means nothing. Words are cheap. Action is priceless. Real respect, real influence, real dominance, these are earned through deeds, not dialogue. Every time you act decisively, you speak louder than 1,000 words. Every choice you make, every step you take towards your goal, communicate your priorities, your strength, and your values without a single syllable. People will test you, provoke you, and question you, but the truth is revealed only in what you do, not what you say. Anyone can promise change, few deliver it. Anyone can talk about ambition, few achieve it. The world quickly forgets words, but it remembers results. The strongest, most influential people in history did not win because of what they said. They won because of what they did. Their actions were consistent, deliberate, and unstoppable. This is the principle that separates the talkers from the conquerors. Consider how much energy is wasted on words that accomplish nothing. Arguments, complaints, explanations, and excuses take time, focus, and energy, but they often lead to nothing. The person who acts does not waste time defending their choices or justifying themselves. They move silently, strategically, and effectively. Their presence alone commands respect because people recognize that their impact comes not from promises, but from results. The quiet ones, the steady ones, the people who deliver every single time, they are the ones who dominate. Every word spoken in vain is energy lost, but every action taken with intent strengthens your power and your position. Actions also reveal your character more accurately than words ever could. A man can claim to be strong, disciplined, or loyal, but true strength, discipline, and loyalty are demonstrated over time through consistent behavior. A promise of courage is meaningless until tested. A claim of patience is empty until adversity arrives. When you act with integrity, when you follow through on commitments, when you push yourself to do what others will not, you prove your worth without a single boast. People instinctively notice this. They feel it. They may not understand it consciously, but they respect it, fear it, and admire it. Words may impress for a moment, but actions leave permanent marks. The discipline to act consistently is what transforms dreams into reality. Many people talk about success, about achieving, about conquering, yet they never take the steps required to reach it. Actions are the bridge between desire and reality. They are the proof that intent is genuine. Small, deliberate actions repeated over time create unstoppable momentum. Every hour spent building, training, learning, or improving compounds into results that cannot be ignored. Talk without action produces nothing. Action without talk produces everything. A person who understands this is never distracted by noise or opinion. They focus solely on execution, and execution is the language of achievement. Actions also demand courage. Words can hide fear. Words can pretend confidence. Actions, however, expose it. To act is to take responsibility, to risk failure, to face the unknown. It is far easier to speak, to boast, and to make empty promises. It is far more powerful to rise every day and do what others refuse to do, to confront challenges head on, and to demonstrate strength through effort. Every act of courage, every step taken against resistance reinforces your presence and builds momentum. People may doubt your words, but they cannot ignore your actions. Actions are proof. They are undeniable. They leave no room for debate or deception. Finally, actions speak louder than words because they create influence. Leaders are not made by speeches alone. They are made by decisions and deeds that change circumstances, empower others, and leave a legacy. People follow those who lead by example, who show rather than tell, who execute while others talk. Your reputation, your authority, and your impact are defined by what you do consistently. Words may inspire temporarily, but actions inspire belief. Actions create respect, loyalty, and fear where necessary. They are the true measure of power in any situation. The person who masters the principle that actions speak louder than words becomes unstoppable. They no longer waste time trying to convince, explain, or argue. They move silently, strategically, and decisively. Their focus is unshakable, their presence undeniable, and their results inevitable. They understand that the world is full of people who talk endlessly but accomplish nothing. They know that those who act are remembered long after the talkers are forgotten. Actions do not lie. They do not exaggerate. They do not fade with time. They create reality. They shape destiny. Actions speak louder than words. Speak less. Act more. Let every step you take, every effort you make, and every obstacle you overcome tell the world who you are, what you stand for, and what you are capable of. Words can mislead, words can fail, words can be forgotten, but actions endure. They are the proof, the measure, and the legacy of a person's strength. Stop talking about what you will do. Start showing what you can do. The world respects the doers, the relentless, the disciplined. Your actions define you. Your results speak for you. Live by them, move by them, and let your life become the loudest statement of all. Restraint creates power and respect. In a world addicted to impulsive reactions, instant gratification, and constant noise, the ability to control yourself is the ultimate weapon. Most people believe power comes from domination, aggression, or loudness. But true power lies in self-discipline, the choice to act only when necessary, to speak only when it matters, and to hold back when emotion screams for release. Restraint is the foundation of influence. It is the silent force that shapes perception, commands attention, and builds authority. When you resist the urge to react impulsively, when you hold your words and your actions in check, you demonstrate an inner strength that others cannot imitate, a force that demands respect without ever raising a voice. Consider how many people squander their influence every day by giving in to impulse. Anger is expressed recklessly. Criticism is delivered without thought, and decisions are made in the heat of emotion. Each moment of lost control diminishes credibility, weakens presence, and chips away at power. The person who masters restraint, however, becomes untouchable. They do not allow emotion to dictate action. They observe, analyze, and choose their moves with precision. The world begins to notice the difference. People respect those who remain composed under pressure, who refuse to be baited by provocation, and who maintain control when chaos erupts. Restraint is not passivity. It is mastery. It is strategy. It is dominance executed with intelligence rather than recklessness. Restraint also creates power because it conserves energy. Every reaction consumes strength. Every impulsive decision drains focus. Every word spoken in haste takes away influence. By exercising restraint, you save energy for the battles that matter, for the decisions that will define your legacy. Power is built quietly, in the moments when others are reacting, complaining, or overextending themselves. The restrained person acts deliberately, channeling their energy into meaningful pursuits instead of dissipating it on trivialities. This creates results that are undeniable, commands attention that cannot be ignored, and builds an aura of competence and control that naturally attracts followers, allies, and respect. Another reason restraint creates respect is psychological. People instinctively admire those who are in control of themselves. No one respects a person who loses their temper at every provocation or who constantly seeks approval through action or speech. But restraint signals intelligence, confidence, and strength. It communicates that you are not at the mercy of circumstances, that you are not swayed by fleeting emotions, and that you operate from a position of power rather than weakness. When someone observes that you are measured, patient, and deliberate, they begin to treat your words and actions differently. Your presence carries weight. Your silence is respected. Your decisions are taken seriously. This is not luck. This is the natural outcome of restraint. Restraint also allows for strategic advantage. When you control your impulses, you can wait for the right moment to act, speak, or assert yourself. Most people act immediately, reacting without thought, and then wonder why they are overlooked or dismissed. The person who exercises restraint can plan, anticipate, and strike at the exact moment that maximizes impact. Timing amplifies power. Controlled restraint creates anticipation, and anticipation multiplies respect. People watch, they wait, they calculate, and in that space, you become the one who defines the rhythm of every interaction. Restraint turns chaos into opportunity and unpredictability into advantage. Furthermore, restraint builds long-term influence. Impulsive actions might bring short-term gains, but they rarely lead to lasting power. The person who acts without control is easily forgotten, dismissed, or undermined. The restrained person, however, becomes a figure of consistency and reliability. Others know that their actions are deliberate, that their words are measured, and that their presence is steady. Influence grows naturally from this perception. Respect is not demanded. It is earned silently over time through consistent self-control. The person who practices restraint shapes their environment, their relationships, and ultimately their destiny, because they understand that power is not a momentary display. It is a lifetime of disciplined choices. Restraint also protects reputation. Words spoken in anger, actions taken impulsively, and decisions made without thought can create consequences that linger for years. The disciplined person avoids these traps. They weigh the potential outcomes, consider the cost, and act only when the reward justifies the energy spent. This creates a reputation for wisdom, reliability, and composure. People trust those who exercise restraint because they know that their behavior is predictable, measured, and aligned with higher principles. Trust is the currency of respect, and restraint is the method of earning it. Ultimately, restraint is the silent engine of true power. It allows you to maintain control over your mind, your emotions, and your environment. It ensures that your energy is preserved for the battles, opportunities, and decisions that matter most. It signals to the world that you are not ruled by impulse, that you are intentional in every move, and that you operate from a position of authority. In a society where instant reactions and emotional displays are glorified, restraint is a rare quality, and rarity breeds respect. Restraint creates power and respect because it transforms weakness into strength, chaos into order, and reaction into strategy. It allows you to act decisively when others falter, to speak meaningfully when others shout, and to influence profoundly when others waste their energy. It is the invisible force that shapes your life, defines your character, and solidifies your presence. The strongest people in the world are not those who react first. They are those who respond last, with precision, purpose, and control. To master restraint is to master yourself, and in mastering yourself, you master the world around you. Patience and calculated silence lead to dominance. In a world obsessed with speed, reaction, and instant gratification, the ability to wait, to observe, and to hold your tongue is more powerful than most people realize. The loudest voices, the fastest responders, the impulsive actors, they rarely achieve true control. Dominance is not about being first to speak, first to act, or first to react. True dominance comes from patience. The discipline to wait for the right moment, the strength to resist the urge to react immediately, and the wisdom to recognize that timing is everything. Silence, when calculated, becomes a weapon, a shield, and a signal of authority all at once. Those who master it are not only respected, they are feared, followed, and remembered. Patience allows you to observe patterns, to understand weaknesses, and to plan your moves strategically. Most people rush into decisions, speak without thinking, and act without foresight. They react to the noise around them and are constantly at the mercy of circumstance. The patient person, however, watches and waits. They see the chaos others create and use it as an advantage. They listen more than they speak, analyze more than they react, and bide their time until the moment is perfect. Every second of restraint, every pause, every observation compounds power. People who act impulsively may achieve temporary gains, but those who act with patience build unshakable dominance. Calculated silence is equally essential. Speaking too soon, explaining too much, or reacting emotionally dilutes presence and weakens authority. Silence is not absence, it is strategy. When used deliberately, it conveys confidence, control, and self-mastery. People instinctively notice those who speak sparingly but with impact. When you are silent, you observe more, understand more, and manipulate situations without being obvious. Silence creates anticipation. It allows your words and actions, when finally used, to carry maximum effect. The world is full of people desperate to be heard, but those who master calculated silence are the ones who truly move the game, who control the room, and who shape outcomes without unnecessary effort. Patience and silence together amplify each other. Patience without silence is often wasted effort, as thoughts left unexpressed do not gain power without discretion. Silence without patience may be meaningless, a void that others fill with noise. When combined, however, they create a force that is unstoppable. You wait for the perfect moment to act, and when that moment comes, your presence, your decision, and your action dominate completely. The strongest leaders, the most influential figures, the people who change circumstances with precision, none of them achieved dominance by reacting hastily or speaking impulsively. They achieved it by mastering the art of restraint, observation, and timing. Consider the psychological effect on others. Patience frustrates those who act recklessly. Calculated silence unnerves those who expect reaction. When you are patient and silent, you become unpredictable, which is a form of power. People cannot manipulate you, provoke you, or anticipate your moves. They are forced to respond to your rhythm, your timing, and your strategy. Your dominance is established not through aggression, but through control. Control of your mind, your energy, your focus, and the flow of every situation you enter. Dominance built this way is enduring because it is based on respect and fear, not temporary noise. Patience and calculated silence also preserve energy, which is essential for dominance. Every reaction, every word spoken unnecessarily, every impulsive act drains resources. Those who waste energy constantly find themselves exhausted, overwhelmed, and reactive rather than proactive. The patient, silent individual stores energy like a weapon. They conserve their mental, emotional, and physical strength for the moments that matter most. When action is finally taken, it is decisive, powerful, and overwhelming. Others cannot match it because they have already spent theirs on trivialities, arguments, and hasty decisions. This combination also teaches mastery over self. Dominance over others begins with dominance over your own impulses. To wait, to hold your tongue, and to act only at the right moment requires discipline, clarity, and confidence. Many people seek dominance by forcing their will externally, but the truly dominant first conquer themselves. Self-mastery through patience and calculated silence ensures that when you finally act, it is intentional, impactful, and unstoppable. Others may react emotionally, make mistakes, and reveal weaknesses, while you remain composed, strategic, and in full control. Patience and silence create opportunity as well. The world rewards those who can see beyond immediate distractions, who can navigate chaos while others flounder, and who wait for conditions to align perfectly. In business, relationships, conflict, or personal growth, those who act too quickly often miss hidden risks and squander potential advantages. The patient, silent person identifies patterns, anticipates moves, and capitalizes on timing that others cannot perceive. Dominance, then, is not just the result of action, it is the result of perfect timing, observation, and execution. Ultimately, patience and calculated silence lead to dominance because they give you control over yourself, control over situations, and control over others' perceptions. The world cannot intimidate you, manipulate you, or outmaneuver you because you operate on a higher plane, one of strategy, discipline, and foresight. Those who speak impulsively and act rashly may achieve temporary victories, but their power is fleeting. Those who master patience and silence create dominance that is lasting, respected, and nearly unassailable. Patience and calculated silence are not passive. They are active forms of power. They are deliberate, disciplined, and intentional. They shape your destiny quietly, yet with force. They allow you to observe, calculate, and strike with precision. They conserve energy, build respect, and create opportunities that impulsive, loud, and impatient people will never see. To master them is to master the art of influence, the science of control, and the power of true dominance. Those who understand the secret rise above chaos, control outcomes, and leave a legacy that words alone could never achieve. Patience and calculated silence lead to dominance. Wait, observe, hold back, plan, then strike with precision. Let your presence, your decisions, and your actions speak louder than any words, louder than any chaos, and louder than any hasty competitor. In doing so, you achieve power, respect, and dominance